see what I'm saying? Does everybody see that this is kind of a simple story? And the only thing we really need to learn is how to slow down and see the story. That's about it. If you want to trade more data, then you're trading a different swing. Now you're trading this landed into this tail, right? There's a macrocosm, and it's now trying to make a new major low. It's like a hologram, right? It's like a fractal. This is the same situation, isn't it? Same kind of thing. And now it's trying to make a new major low. And, and Ricardo or anybody, if I don't quite clear up your question, you can always mark up the chart. I know it's hard typing it and stuff in here. You can always mark up the chart and send it to me, if you didn't get clear on it. But, it's good to try and clear it up. So we'll give Ricardo a few more minutes to get his mind in there. But the main thing was see the story and change how you see it. Then you take a trade. Now, I might be wrong. I might be right, but I ain't guessing. That's all there is to that. We're doing this until we're not doing this anymore. And you know what? Same thing. We're doing that until we're not doing that anymore. And if that changes, oh boy, maybe I see a big fat long coming in here. I don't know. It's tomorrow's business probably. Something like that. All right. So I'll just keep showing examples of that. Ricardo says, I know that's the right amount of data. And that's a push. I'm clear with that. I mentioned the major because I always try to identify my major. Thanks, Shane. I will send you a chart. Well, let's tackle, that's a good question. It's not that it's the right amount of data. I gave you a clue to this a minute ago. It's not that this is the right amount. This is the pertinent amount of data. This is the appropriate amount of data for this particular trade. This helped zoom me in. And Ricardo's saying, he always tries to look at the major. And by the way, I'm not telling you how much data is the perfect amount of data because that's not possible. If you like to use a lot of data, it can get confusing, but if you do, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's really simple for Ricardo and everybody else. No matter what frame you pick, and don't go nuts trying to pick the right one. Yeah, right, Raj? No matter what frame, if this is my frame, my biggest reaction leg is going to be my major, Ricardo, okay? And then the next biggest would be like this. That would be my minor. That's all there is to it. If this is my frame, okay, I'm looking for the same thing. If this is my frame, I'm looking for the same thing. So don't go too nuts trying to figure out what's the perfect amount of data. Just remember, if you're using something like this, all right, we see there's a high, there's a low. This isn't an official reaction leg yet. And then you work the chart the same way. If you're using this, the biggest one's going to be the major, and the next biggest going to be the minor. So it really doesn't matter. If you're using this, what's my major? Everybody see my major if I'm using this amount? So it would be wrong for me to tell you what's the perfect amount of data. But I'm going to say, you want to keep it in the neighborhood of 300 bars maybe, but it doesn't matter. Okay, you see it, 524 you're saying? So if this is my frame, 524, 8 o'clock was your major. Good, so this would be your major, right? You might call that your, the biggest thing you got going down, right? If that's your thing. Yes, and then what's your minor, Ricardo? These guys, right? And so that's the next biggest, right? Remember the definition? Major equals biggest reaction leg in your frame. Minor equals next biggest reaction leg. And thanks for, bringing up these questions, because, these are all little issues we all face. And we've done our best to work out these little issues, saying, pick your frame, and it's the biggest. Oh, you're welcome. Ricardo, you're doing everybody a favor, because this amount of data thing is a topic we can talk on for a long time, because there's no right amount. But what we can do is say, whatever your frame is, this is that. And now you can tell the story, right? So now what's your story, Ricardo? Your story is, we've made a major low and we have same size. So if you were right here, Ricardo, we've made a major low and you have same size minor swings, right? Rolling up into the outside bar. Does that make sense? So you just change your story wording a little bit. Yeah. See, this way you're not fixed to an amount of data. The only thing I will say is that we tend to get a little lost if we use too much data. Here's what we tend to do if we use this much. We tend to be playing some huge monster swing, and then we're going to come in here and use some little itty bitty stop. Or if we use this amount, we get confused because we're looking, here you're looking at, say, if you're looking at a map to get across the country, and then this is a map to get around the city. The map to get across the country isn't going to help you in here. So too much, just notice if it overwhelms you. Too much bothers me, because I might as well use a bigger time frame. So in the end, it's what swing are you trading? That's the question you ask yourself. Which swing am I trading? And you know how you know that? Because you can identify swings. We don't need no stinking expert. So if we were here, see, this rule fits everything now. We don't do dogma. If you were here, you'd say, that's my major. Right? Didn't reach it, but that's still my major. Still might get there, huh? But if you were using this much data, it might take you a long time to even work that out. And what I say is, if there's a trade I can do that's 3-to-1 and I can make, 45, 60, 80, 100 ticks, I'm going to do it. We'll talk more in this data issue. Actually, I'm going to, as you guys bring this up, I'm going to start a new list of notes, because it's a good topic. It's one of those to reach in. It's not one that has just a flat out answer, as you